Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News fans. TV star Grant Ellis might not have won Jen Tran's heart on The Bachelorette, but he's getting a second shot at love as The Bachelor. After his heartbreaking exit, producers saw potential in him and made him the next leading man, this time allowing applicants to submit once his identity was revealed. Now he has a record number of contestants, including the fascinating Dina Lupancu. Dina, a 29-year-old lawyer from Chicago, is here to find love with Grant. DM man signs job offer whilst falling from plane, 2. She works at Fagra Drinker, defending clients in complex cases ranging from product liability to toxic torts. Quote, Dina can accomplish anything she puts her mind to, and now she's set on finding her husband, unquote, her ABC bio reads. She's also one of 11 siblings, making her family-oriented, a trait that Grant values deeply. Travel junkie Dina loves exploring the world and is ready for a serious relationship. Quote, Dina is looking for someone who is kind, ambitious, and family-oriented, unquote, her bio continues, noting that most of her best friends are either married or in long-term relationships. Fans are already buzzing about her impressive career and personal life, and it looks like she's a real contender for Grant's heart. As The Bachelor season unfolds, fans are eager to see how far Dina will make it with Grant. The unexpected arrival. It was week 5 of The Bachelor season 29, and everything was beginning to feel routine. Rose ceremonies, group dates filled with staged competitions, champagne toasts, and whispers of strategy in the mansion's echoing corridors. But just as fans and contestants thought they had seen it all, a limo pulled up outside the estate, tires crunching against the gravel with the confidence of someone who wasn't here to play by anyone's rules. Out stepped a woman who didn't fit the usual mold. No glittering gown or forced smile. Dina Lupancu wore a sleek black suit with a soft pink silk blouse peeking through. Her heels were modest and her walk, measured, deliberate, sharp, turned heads before she even reached the iconic front door. A murmur rolled through the house like a rogue wave crashing over the surf of drama that had already begun brewing between frontrunners Juliana Pasquarosa and Carolina Quixano. "Who is that?" Juliana whispered, clutching her wine glass tighter. "She looks like she just walked out of a courtroom," Carolina added, eyes narrowing with suspicion and subtle admiration. That was because she had. Dina Lupancu, 32, a practicing defense attorney from Chicago, wasn't just another rose chaser. She was here for one reason: to find out if what she saw in Grant Ellis, the vulnerability beneath the public charm, the sincerity hidden behind practiced lines, was real enough to bet her heart on. The woman behind the resume. Before the cameras, Dina fought high-stakes cases, debated in front of packed courtrooms, and been named one of Chicago Lawyer magazine's top 40 under 40. She never applied for The Bachelor. In fact, she turned the show down twice when casting producers discovered her via a viral LinkedIn post she wrote about love, ambition, and the loneliness of achievement. But after a quiet dinner alone on Valentine's Day, she reconsidered. What if, her best friend had said, the one guy who gets you isn't behind a defense table or in a conference room, but somewhere absurdly public, like on TV? It sounded crazy. Dina liked logic, facts, legal precedents. She did not like manufactured hot tub drama or Instagram fame. But there was something about Grant Ellis, a former tech CEO turned reality lead. He had an unpolished authenticity, equal parts charismatic and wounded. She saw through the edits. There was depth there, mystery, and maybe truth. Grant's reaction. When host Jesse Palmer brought Dina into the group date cocktail party, it wasn't subtle. "There's someone new here tonight, someone who chose to be here. Grant, meet Dina Lupancu." She stepped into the room with a poise that made every other contestant shift in their heels. Grant looked stunned, not just by her presence, but by her energy. She was unlike any woman he had met on this journey. "Hi," she said with a confident, genuine smile. "I'm not here to compete. I'm here to see if you're someone worth exploring beyond the roses." He blinked, then grinned slowly.
I think I just got cross-examined and I liked it. The group date imploded within minutes. She's not like the others. Overnight, Dina became the topic of every whispered conversation in the mansion. She's clearly here for attention, Juliana sneered. I think she's brilliant, Litia Guerra muttered, but she wouldn't say it too loudly. She's older, smarter, stronger. That scares people, said Talia, one of the quieter contestants. But the producers knew what they were doing. Dina was ratings gold. She challenged Grant. She didn't melt under pressure or pout when she didn't get immediate attention. She made him think. She asked about his future plans, his fears of failure, his definition of love, not how many kids he wanted. And Grant? He couldn't stop thinking about her. The first one-on-one. Their first one-on-one date was a simple rooftop dinner overlooking Los Angeles. No helicopters, no hot tubs, just them, red wine, and a string quartet playing softly nearby. So, what's the closing argument for falling in love on TV? Dina asked. He leaned forward, resting his chin on his hand. Maybe love isn't about strategy or structure. Maybe it's chaos, and you just have to let it happen. She laughed. Spoken like a man who's never filed a motion. By the end of the night, they were holding hands, not because the show needed a love story, but because they did. She got the rose. She also got something no one else had gotten yet, a kiss that wasn't framed for the cameras, but caught accidentally by a lens turned in their direction when they thought the world had stopped watching. America reacted. Social media exploded. At Bachelor Obsessed, Dina is a whole different breed. This is the smart love story we deserve. At Messy Bachelor Tea, Juliana and Carolina are going to freak when Dina steals the whole season with just her brows. At Rose Courtroom, can we get a spin-off called The Verdict, Dina's Love Life, immediately? Dina's follower count grew exponentially, but she stayed off her phone per contract. She wasn't here to build a brand. She was here for something deeper. Or so she kept telling herself. When jealousy turns vicious, the house couldn't handle Dina's quiet rise. Juliana cornered her one evening, voice dripping with fake concern. I just want to make sure you're not manipulating him with all that lawyer stuff. Dina smiled. Oh, honey, this isn't court. I'm just being myself. Juliana turned red. Carolina jumped in, accusing her of being a plant hired to stir drama. But Grant defended Dina at the next rose ceremony. I brought her here because she challenges me. She brings out a side of me I didn't know I still had. And just like that, the tides shifted. The past comes to knocking. In episode 7, a twist nobody expected. An ex-boyfriend of Dina's was brought on to stir drama. He claimed Dina was emotionally unavailable and that her ambition always came first. Dina was blindsided. Grant asked, "Is any of it true?" I am ambitious, and I've been guarded, but that's because I've built everything in my life myself. I'm not afraid to let someone in. I'm just careful who I open the door to. The nation rallied behind her. Even Grant's own sister, who had been skeptical of every woman on the show, posted on Instagram, Dina's the real deal. Falling fast. Their chemistry became undeniable. While the other women played games, Dina and Grant built a real connection. Their conversations deepened. They talked about ethics, kids, grief, the kind of legacy they wanted to leave. By the time hometowns arrived, Dina invited him to meet her father, a retired judge, and her younger brother who had autism. The visit was raw, emotional, and sincere. Grant cried, not for show, but because it felt real. And when Dina whispered later, "I think I could love you," the moment wasn't edited with sweeping music. It was just quiet, honest, unapologetically intimate. The final twist. In the final 2, it was Dina and Juliana. Producers loved the contrast. Juliana was everything the show usually crowned. Glam, giggly, possessive. Dina was a departure, a new kind of ending. In the final episode, Dina wore navy instead of the usual pastels. She walked confidently to meet Grant on a cliff top overlooking the ocean. But Grant looked torn. He took her hands and said, I've never felt this kind of peace with someone, but I don't want to give you a ring if I'm not 100% sure you'll want this life. Dina blinked. Then don't give me a ring. Give me a choice. He smiled. Then I choose you. He didn't propose. They walked away holding hands. Beyond the Bachelor. 1 year later, Dina and Grant co-authored a book called The Honest Rose, Choosing Love Without a Script. It became a bestseller. She returned to law. He started a podcast. They lived between Chicago and Austin. When they got engaged off-screen, no cameras, just a dinner by Lake Michigan, it was Dina who proposed, with a simple band and a quote engraved inside, "No objection." Bachelor Nation didn't just remember their season. They remembered how love evolved, and how one woman, smart, unapologetic, and fiercely independent, changed the game forever.